Oh, whoops. Hello. Hi. My name is Alex Frecon. I'm a writer and a director, and I have been in therapy for over 15 years of my life, which, a lot to unpack there. Just a mega yikes, probably. Not a yikes. The reason I'm telling you this is because I have a new podcast, and it's about therapy. It's called My Therapist and I. You might be wondering, what's it about? I have been encouraged to include a disclaimer about this podcast, which is what I'm going to do right now. So, yeah, I bet I have your attention now, huh? You see, this podcast is unique because it isn't meant to be just about therapy. It's meant to be therapy. More specifically, my therapy, which again, this podcast will be my therapy. In each episode, I will sit down with a licensed therapist and talk about whatever's on my mind. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Hopefully there's not a ton of ugly, but if it's there, I'm going to talk about it. The goal is to give you, the listener, a glimpse of what actual therapy can be like. Not in theory, but in practice. You are a casual observer to my podcast therapy sessions, all from the privacy of wherever it is you choose to listen from. And I invite you to tune in with absolutely zero expectations. It is my only hope that this podcast can help you come to your own decision about what therapy is actually like and whether or not it might be helpful for you. And, spoiler, I think it's going to be helpful for you. With all that said, this kind of podcast has never been done before. So it's important that I stress that a lot of due diligence went into this idea. For starters, to the tune of over 15 years of therapy. But beyond that, I had many conversations with seasoned professionals about how to do this podcast, why to do it, and most importantly, how to keep myself safe in the process. So rest assured, we have figured everything out, aside from whether or not this podcast is actually going to be interesting to listen to. That is the one thing that we have not figured out. But we figured out everything else. So there are checks and balances in place. This isn't a task that we or myself have taken lightly. Finally, and this is the most important part, I have to stress that this podcast is not meant to replace therapy. If you are dealing with something right now, I strongly encourage you to reach out to someone, ideally a professional, but anyone. I know that might seem scary right now, but trust me when I say that with enough commitment, things will get better. It will be hard work, but you can do it. You are important and the world needs you. So if you're going through something right now, chop, chop, get after it. For now, I invite you to kick your feet up and just kind of listen, observe, feel free to judge, but don't judge too harshly because after all, I'm deeply flawed, but hey, I'm working on it. And with that, I'll let you get into it. So I hope you enjoy the podcast. Thanks for your time.